lineup includes 2 Wooden Award nominees.
Indeed. You thought Grayson Allen was fantastic in the finals last year against Wisconsin? I'll raise you one. He's been spectacular on this season. And Brandon Ingram, a guy who they needed to step up to give them some scoring from the perimeter. He's been sensational over the last 2.
Now, as for Duke's opponents tonight, no team in the country is younger than Georgia Southern. There's the class-by-class breakdown. And those 12 freshmen and sophomore have accounted for 57% of the points. So we are ready to go. The Blue Devils enter 8-1. Georgia Southern 3-4. Doug Shows will toss the ball up. He's working with Keith Kimball and Jeff Clark. And the third meeting between Duke and Georgia Southern is underway at Cameron Indoor. Quickly, it comes to Luke Kennard, who gets the start because of the injury to Jefferson. So as a result, Ingram will slide to the 4 tonight, Alfonso.
Did you see how high Mike Hughes, number 2 in dark, was on that shot block? That was incredible.
Inside, the jump by Glenn, no good. Rebound on a bounce comes to Marshall Plumlee. Duke hasn't played. They've had a 9-day layoff since beating Buffalo. Kennard for 3. Rebound Plumlee along the baseline. Tries to carve out space, and as he wheels away, he is stripped. Quickly the other way, Mike Hughes to the rim. And it's tipped up and in by Glenn.
Well, and that's what this game is going to be about for Georgia Southern. They have to get out and get easy opportunities in transition.
Ingram with the 3 as Duke attacks the press and gets a wide open look.
Brandon Ingram continues to stick it from the perimeter. Only 34% from the three-point line on the year, but 6 of 10 now, 7 of 11 from the three-point line.
And Mike Hughes drills a 3. The 3 is a huge part of the Georgia Southern offense.
11 threes per game on the year. I think they're going to need 13 or more tonight.
Number 13, Matt Jones, is the most accurate three-point shooter for the Blue Devils. Ingram over the top on a switch down below. Plumlee was being guarded by the much shorter Tukey Brown, who's whistled for a foul. There's your starting lineup. Brown leads Georgia Southern in scoring, assists, and steals. And Matt Jones is the 4th most accurate three-point shooter in the ACC.
Going to need a big night from Mike Hughes, number 2 in dark, to pull out a victory on the road.
Grayson Allen nails the 3. He's been shooting 46% from three-point range this season.
They're talking to Georgia Southern's coach, Mark Byington. He said he'll give them three-point shots all night long. They do not want him attacking the paint off the bounce.
You agree with that strategy?
I agree with that strategy.
On the drive, the shot is no good by Brown. And here's Ingram the other way. Kennard for 3. In and out. Rebound pulled down by Tukey Brown.
I love the early push.
And the rejection by Ingram.
And that's going to be a big issue tonight, Bob, is can they finish around the rim? They'll be able to get dribble penetration against Duke, but they're not used to playing against that kind of size in practice. Tough to simulate when you don't have a guy like Marshall Plumlee or with the length of Brandon Ingram.
Plumlee to the cutter, Allen. And Allen will draw the foul on Hughes, number 1 on him, and number 2 on the Eagles.
And folks, this is what we showed you earlier in the open, and it's been exactly that. Brandon Ingram aggressively knocking down the 3, and we've talked about how important it is for Georgia Southern to keep Grayson Allen out of the paint, but he can knock down the 3 ball as well. What a versatile player.
Yesterday we had a chance to chat with associate head coach Jeff Capel of the Blue Devils, and he said of Allen, he's now adjusting to being the first guy on the other team's scouting report.
And it's not an easy transition. It's easy to play behind some guys because you can come in and relax. You can watch the game from the bench and find where you need to impact the game. Now all of a sudden you're the lead guy. Takes a special kind of mindset to be able to come out and produce, and he's done that here early.
Number 11, Sean O'Connell, has checked in for Georgia Southern. His dad played for Duke in the 70s. Ball knocked out of bounds with 16 seconds to shoot for the Eagles. There's O'Connell. Mark Byington will play. A lot of people, he told us yesterday, that when he was a kid growing up in Virginia, his dad drove him hours so he could attend Mike Krzyzewski's camp here at Cameron Indoor. And he said, now tomorrow night I'm going to be coaching against the guy.
How special is that?
On the dribble drive, knocked away last touch by the Eagles. Their first turnover.
Georgia Southern has to realize that on dribble penetration, Duke will not leave the strong side shooters. And so the look is to the opposite side of the floor. You need to make better reads off dribble penetration against this tough defense of Duke.
Bernard, who's 0 for 2 from 3. And nobody put a body on Grayson Allen. Showing why he won the Powerade Slam Dunk Championship in 2014.
That kid plays with tremendous energy. What a motor.
6-0 Blue Devils run. A shot no good by Ike Smith. Rebound pulled down by Ingram.
What a luxury to have someone be able to pull it off the glass and bring it up the floor, and potentially he can get you into your offense as well.
Now, do you think his more natural position is the 3 or the 4?
I think it's a 3.
Foul on O'Connell, his first and 3 on the team.
Folks, if you know Duke, you know when that basketball goes up, you must find bodies and box out. No one lays a body on Grayson Allen, one of the finest leapers in the entire country, and he knows what to do with it when he gets airborne.
Inbound pass is stolen. The pull-up jumper is no good by Ike Smith, and here come the Blue Devils. It's been one and done for Georgia Southern. They've had nothing off the offensive glass.
Well, I thought Ike Smith should have taken that basketball to the rim. He had an opening to his right.
Chase Jeter misses the shot, but the rebound swatted out of bounds by the Eagles. And Duke with a fresh 30. There's Mike Krzyzewski, who won his 5th national championship last April.
And with Emil Jefferson out for an unspecified period of time, expect to see Chase Jeter, number 2, who's not played a whole lot. He's only been averaging about 8 minutes per game, but this will be valuable experience for him.
Allen penetrates and kicks, and Derek Thornton knocks it down. A 9-0 Blue Devils run. This is a golden opportunity for Thornton. The injury to Jefferson should increase his playing minutes too.
Oh, indeed. A combo scoring guard gives them another guy with deep range. He can beat you off the bounce, and as you can see, he loves to play the defensive end as well. Georgia Southern has to screen better, and it'll create better angles for them to attack the rim. That's a nice drive there.
By Devontae Boykins, a little one-on-one move ends the 9-0 Duke run.
Well, they can take advantage of any of those switches. When they find the taller Duke players, they should put their head down and get to the rim, which is exactly what they did on that play.
As Ingram starts to go, they're going to count it. They're going to count the basket, and Ingram will have a chance to make it a 3-point play when we return. Well, Fonz, when you're in the situation that this Georgia Southern team is, you have to make sure you don't lose the game before the opening tip. Right?
Absolutely. And you have to simplify the process, and that's exactly what Coach Byington is doing. He wants to keep it simple for this group, knowing that it's their first time in Cameron Indoor Stadium playing against the national champions, doesn't want them to be overwhelmed early by the experience. Duke really gets up and plays passing lanes, forcing you to initiate your offense further out on the floor.
And there's a foul on Chase Jeter, his first. What about Fonz's focus for the evening?
Yeah, the number's 13 tonight. I think Georgia Southern is going to have to make 13 threes or more to win this game, and they have to limit their turnovers. This is a team that made 8 threes per game in the 2 losses. 13 threes in their last 2 wins, so the 3 ball is going to have to be popping tonight for Georgia Southern.
On the penetration, the kick out, and a wide open 3 is good by Jason Burnell.
Bob, and that's exactly the play we were talking about earlier. On those ball screens, they're going to have to look to throw the basketball back to the weak side, because that's where they're going to be able to find guys open. That was a great read.
19 to shoot on the shot clock for the Blue Devils.
See how on that ball screen, he throws the ball back over his shoulder, and that's the perfect read, because Duke will not leave the strong side corners. The weak side wing and corner will be open. That was a really nice read.
Mark Byington will play a lot of people. There you see the numbers, just how much the 3-point play means to his club. He's already played 9 people tonight. Pass deflected and stolen by the Eagles.
Well, you see this team go in and out of man and zone. Zone bothered Duke on that possession.
Third turnover for the Blue Devils, and here's Allen headed the other way. From end to end. And a blocking foul will be called on the Eagles.
Grayson Allen doing a nice job. Fumbles it a little bit and just recaptures it at the end. And not able to get over and fully get established with Sean O'Connell, number 11 in blue. That was a good call by the official.
Fouls on Alsmiller, his first and 5 on the team. And among the many things that Allen does well, Fonz, is shoot free throws. He's best in the ACC at 90.6%.
Well, he really gets to the line as well. 7 free throws per game. He's really a right-hand dominant attacker, so you must sit on his right hand and force him to go left to be successful guarding him.
The NCAA championship game was really Allen's coming out party last year. 16 points off the bench in the win over Wisconsin.
Well, people talk about the points that he scored, but how about the dive on the floor for the loose ball late? I thought that really energized the Blue Devils.
The shot is blocked by Plumlee, and coming away with it is Thornton.
That's another example of have to make good decisions when you get to the rim.
Thornton misses the pull-up, and the rebound pulled down by O'Connell along the baseline. Well, Georgia Southern's preferred tempo is to run, and they know that isn't necessarily the best way to play against Duke, but they're not going to change it for one evening.
Well, I've been impressed with this young team. You know, they looked like this game was going to get out of hand in a hurry, but they continue to play confidently, looking to put the basketball on the deck and get to the rim. They've been able to keep Duke off the offensive glass as well.
Kennard now 0 for 4 from the floor. Plumlee with the putback and the foul.
Tell you, I love Marshall Plumlee. He has a good sense around the rim of where to be. Wedges the little guy on the inside, just lets the ball fall into his hands, and does exactly what a big should do around the rim. Beast mode, putting it off the glass. Marshall Plumlee gives tremendous energy and effort to this Duke team.
And with the departures of the 3 one-and-done freshmen last year to the NBA, all of a sudden Plumlee has a chance for many more minutes than a year ago. And he admitted in chatting yesterday, he said, look, my playing time is up. I got to be in better physical condition.
Yeah, and Coach got on him 2 games ago about him not being focused out there on the floor, really gotten his chops, and you see him out there now. He is dialed in.
Tukey Brown hits the foul line jumper for the Eagles. They trail by 6. We've played nearly 8 minutes.
Well, Bob, what we're seeing is Georgia Southern is able to get anything they want off the bounce. They have to continue to be patient.
First basket for Matt Jones on the runner in the lane. Duke's lone loss came to Kentucky in the Champions Classic in Chicago. Blue Devils have ripped off 6 straight wins since then. And they're 6-0 here at Cameron Indoor this year. Shot clock inside 10. A deep by Tukey Brown.
Wow.
So he's got 5 straight points for the Eagles, who are 3 for 4 from three-point range.
Well, coming to this game, Tukey Brown was 6 for his last 11 from 3, shooting it with a lot of confidence here early in the season.
Allen tries to respond, no good, and the rebound pulled down by Brown. Boykin goes right by Allen and hits with the left.
You see, Georgia Southern's doing a really nice job of recognizing who's guarding who and who they can take off the bounce. I think their recognition on the offensive end off the bounce has really been extraordinary here early.
They're on a 7-2 run to pull within 3, and the foul will be on Alsmiller, his 2nd and the 7th on the team.
Georgia Southern, not just a dribble drive team, they got several guys who can really stick it from long range. They have been fearless here early, knocking down threes and getting to the rim on the road.
$100 savings card.
The Duke lead has been trimmed to 3. Brandon Ingram is the ACC's preseason freshman of the year, LaFonso.
He's been absolutely terrific over the last 2 games, and he can beat you in a variety of ways. Watch the shot fake. The Indiana defender goes by, a good read getting around to his left, and he is silky smooth around the rim. But he can not only beat you on the offensive end, he is terrific on the defensive end. Most freshmen would have given up on this play. Not Brandon Ingram using his length to get back and get that one off the glass. 6 points tonight, 2 of 2 from the foul line. I love Brandon Ingram's versatility.
Ingram on the preseason watch list for the Wooden Award. Preseason first team All-ACC, one of the most highly touted freshmen in the country. Where do you slot him into the best freshman in the country?
From a statistical standpoint, obviously it's tough to put him in there with any of the great ones early in the season, but if you look at what he's done over the last 2 games, he is absolutely right there. And you talk about projecting him to the next level. NBA teams are going to be so happy to get a guy like that who can rebound the basketball at 6'9" and start the break and make good plays. And you talk about a guy who can knock down the 3 ball, can post up smaller guys. Brandon Ingram has the complete package.
Matt Jones knocks down the free throws. Duke will be shooting a lot of them in the last 11 and a half minutes. 17 fouls on Georgia Southern, only 1 on Duke. And Boykins knocks down the 3. Or make that, I'm sorry, Tukey Brown.
Well, Bob, and that's what we talked about, is their ability to be able to make plays off the bounce. They're able to get anything they want off the bounce, and when they're drawing the help, they're making the wise decision to kick it to the opposite side, and they've been able to get wide open jump shots, and they've been able to knock them down here early.
Brown has 8. He leads the Eagles in scoring. Plumlee on the low block draws the double. Kick out Kennard, who is 0 for 6, 0 for 4 from 3.
He's really struggled shooting the basketball from the three-point strike.
Ike Smith with the miss, and Thornton runs down the rebound.
Yeah, I think Ike Smith's got to turn that one down and put that one on the deck and get to the rim.
Spin move by Jones and uses the glass.
Nice move by Matt Jones.
Degree of difficulty sky high. Now, Kennard's shots have all been good ones, right? Can't pass them up.
Oh, they've been terrific. And he's one of those guys that once he makes one, I like to see him drive one, get a little layup, or maybe get fouled and go to the foul line. When a shooter can see the ball go through the nets, it raises your confidence.
Turnover, the ball goes off the foot of Georgia Southern.
How good has Tukey Brown been on the year? But dribble penetration has been terrific for Georgia Southern here in the first half, and Matt Jones can shoot it from 3, but nice little spin move, then a little soft one off the glass, showing his versatility as well.
Jones always sort of gets things done very quietly, doesn't he?
Oh, he does. He's the quiet leader. In fact, Coach K calls him the Rock.
That wasn't very quiet there as Plumlee flushes it.
Not a lot of guys in the country roll to the rim harder than Marshall Plumlee.
Plumlee doubles the ball, and it results in 2 passes and a layup. Mike Hughes with the layup.
I've just been really, Bob, impressed with the decisions that this young Georgia Southern team is making against one of the top teams in the country. Beating them off the bounce, making the right reads to the weak side. Duke's going to have to do a better job of containing the dribble drive.
Ingram rebounding his own miss, using the long arms and reach. So he is in double figures early. 6th time he's done that in his first 10 collegiate games. Brown, little mix-up on the pass. Smith runs it down to prevent the turnover. On the switch, Plumlee picking up Brown. They have an open man underneath, but Plumlee won't let him get it to him. Allen. Jones for his first 3 of the night.
How good has Matt Jones been? 23 points against Indiana, and he's come out confident offensively in the first half of this game.
He's got 9, and Mark Byington needs to talk things over as Duke has opened up a 9-point lead. Jakob Poeltl. It's at noon Eastern Time, one of those Journey to the Tourney games presented by Sonic. Also streaming live on Watch ESPN. And Fonz, the Blue Devils beat Utah in the Sweet 16 last March. They'll play them again this Saturday at the Garden.
How about that? Utah's going to have to keep Jakob Poeltl out of foul trouble. They are very small once he goes to the bench. Need him to be on the floor for a long period of time. I'm looking forward to the matchup between he and Marshall Plumlee.
Grayson Allen with the miss, with the rebound of the miss. 9-2 Blue Devils run. Plumlee inside, can't hit the reverse, and here come the Eagles the other way.
Nice.
Just parting in the season. Brown got an easy basket for his 9th and 10th point.
Yeah, a little miscommunication there. They're trying to down, or what we call in the NBA, ice that ball screen. But if you don't communicate to the guard, it creates too much space for a good ball handler. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
Both of these teams can score. Duke averages 86 per game, Georgia Southern 85. And away from the play, we're going to get a foul called on Plumlee. Talks about the patience that the athletic administration had when he first got there. And I think that patience has been rewarded just a little bit. What do you think, Alfonso?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's been exceptional. And what I love about him is how he's been able to change his style with the different types of players that he's had during the various championship years. I mean, you're talking about a coach who's played primarily man-to-man. Last year, needed to go to zone, did that. And I think that's really the brilliance of Coach K. Not many coaches are willing to change their styles.
DeVinci Boykins, the older brother of Devontae, checks in, immediately has his shot blocked. We go the other way. Ingram can't get it to go. Ball didn't hit the rim, but Jeter stepped on the baseline as he went for the rebound. Coming up tomorrow, or on the NBA on Wednesday, it will be the Grizzlies at the Bulls, followed by the Suns and the Warriors, starting at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Lafonso, first time out for the Warriors since they lost a game. Any chance of a hangover, in your opinion?
I don't think there's going to be much of a hangover for them, but kudos to, I believe that was Milwaukee that knocked him off, and former Dookie Jabari Parker, part of that team.
Offensive foul will be called on Grayson Allen. That'll be number 1 on him. And Duke has had just a few one-and-dones. You mentioned how Mike Krzyzewski has changed over the years. That's certainly a big part of the recruiting process. He certainly doesn't shy away from going after the players who are likely going to be one-and-dones. And he lost 3 in one draft last year.
Yeah, I think his involvement with USA basketball, along with all the championships that he's won in the tradition of Duke, has really helped him continue to be relevant with all of these young players. What a drive.
No good, and rebound Ingram the other way. This is a 4-on-1 Duke break, and finally Kennard gets his first basket of the night.
Well, and that's what we spoke of earlier, the brilliance of Brandon Ingram, the ability to play defense, come up the rebound, and then start the break at 6'9". You don't hear that too often in college basketball these days.
He looked very comfortable running that break.
Yes.
Backing his way inside, and the shot is no good, taken by Glenn, and then a foul will be called on the Eagles as we take another look at Ingram going from one end to the other.
Folks, very few 6'9" guys can do what Brandon Ingram is doing here. Rebounds the basketball, makes the perfect read. Most guys would hang on to that basketball too long. He waited to the defense, committed to him, and then made the play. The only other guy I know in the country that can make that kind of play, another freshman, Ben Simmons at LSU.
However, Ingram is surrounded by a little bit more talent on his team than Simmons is.
Just a little bit.
Man at the free throw line just does not miss. Luke Kennard 21 for 22 from the line as a freshman. Very highly regarded out of Franklin High School in Ohio. Not only was a McDonald's All-American, he was the Parade Magazine National Player of the Year.
Wow. And we talked about how he struggled from the three-point line. I mentioned earlier, for him to be able to get to the line or get a layup and see the basketball go through the nets, we'll see now if he can run off a few in a row, because sometimes that's all it takes for a really good shooter is to see the basketball go through the net.
Matt Jones swatted that shot away. 18 seconds on the shot clock for the Eagles.
Tell you what, Tukey Brown, number 4 in dark, has been terrific in this first half. 10 points, only 5'11", folks, but he can score it in a variety of ways.
One thing the Eagles have not been able to do tonight is get to the line. They've yet to get there. Duke has been there 10 times and has made 9. So it's an 11-point lead. 9 of those 11 on free throws. And a wild drive to the basket is good. by Mike Hughes.
And that's our guy, Mike Hughes, number 2 in dark, who we said for Georgia Southern to win this one on the road, he had to be big.
Kennard with the up and under move. You said maybe that layup off the break would give him some confidence. He has scored 6 quick points.
How pretty was that finish?
He has scored the Blue Devils' last 6. Brown backs his way in on Jones. Couple of head fakes. And on the rebound, last touch by Jeter of Duke.
Folks, watch this drive here going to his right by Luke Kennard. The degree of difficulty he draws 3 guys, hangs in the air and kisses it off the glass. I'm used to him knocking down 3 balls. Don't see him put it on the deck too much, but he showed a lot of confidence on that drive.
Kennard, the second leading scorer in Ohio high school history. 2,997 points.
Coach Capel told me that when he can see the rim with 2 feet set, it's good for Duke.
Shot clock inside 10. Alsmiller runs it down at the midcourt line. Shot clock inside 5. Devontae Boykin rejected by Ingram, and that'll be a shot clock violation.
We've talked about Brandon Ingram and how versatile he is. People don't realize how good of a defender he is as well. Just using his length right there, knowing that he has a size advantage on any of the guards who are driving against him, just walls up, stays vertical, and blocks that shot. Nicely done by Brandon Ingram.
His second block shot, Duke's 5th. Now Ingram for 3. Rebound batted around. Plumlee fights for it, but coming away with it will be Tukey Brown.
Got numbers here. Georgia Southern has to attack.
Boykin's defended by Ingram. On the switch, picked up by Plumlee. Brown puts it on the deck and takes it to the rim. A lot of one-on-one activity for the Eagles.
Well, yes, but they don't have a lot of options. They don't have anyone who they can throw the basketball into to get them something down in the low post, so everything comes from their perimeter. But they're making wise decisions. Anytime they see Luke Kennard guarding someone, they are attacking them off the bounce.
And Plumlee throws it away. 12 points already for Tukey Brown. Duke by 9 as we step aside.
ESPN. They have 4 bigs that they can throw in at any time. Without Kennedy Meeks, they're down 1. But I expect Isaiah Hicks to be able to come in and fill in because in short minutes, he's been really good for Carolina, both last year and this year.
Alsmiller for 3, hits the top of the backboard. And of course, Duke has its own injury that we told you at the very top of the telecast. Emil Jefferson, the 5th leading offensive rebounder in the country, is out indefinitely with an injury to his right foot. We attempted to find out just what indefinitely means, but a spokesman for Duke says they don't feel comfortable going beyond the statement yesterday, and the statement was simply right foot injury, out indefinitely.
You miss his leadership. A lot of intangibles, an excellent offensive rebounder, a guy who can get to the glass for you. He guards, he communicates really well. He's an excellent screener also.
Quickly in-house to Plumlee, who carved out space.
I think he was making up for that one he just turned over about 2 possessions ago because I thought he should have shot that one.
Blue Devils by 11 as we approach the 3-minute mark. Ingram got a hand on it. Last touch by Duke, 11 to shoot.
Look, when you're 7 feet tall on the interior with that kind of advantage, that's exactly what you should do down in the post. And I think Emil Jefferson really liked that one.
Well, nobody ever said life was fair with the departure of 3 freshmen to the NBA. This was Jefferson's chance to get some meaningful minutes this year, and here he is, only 9 games in, now out indefinitely with an injury.
Yeah, and it really frustrating for him because as a senior, you want to see all of that work that he put in the first 3 years pay off to a tremendous start, averaging a double-double. So it must be crushing emotionally for him. Now, I missed my entire 3rd season and half of my 4th season with knee injuries in the NBA, and it stinks sitting over there on the sideline knowing that you can't do anything but use your voice to try to make a contribution to your team.
Jefferson, the 2nd best career field goal shooting percentage in Duke history. Only Carlos Boozer has a better one. into Plumlee. Then they go inside out. Thornton on the drive won't go. Rebound pulled down by Mike Hughes.
It's a really nice no call. I thought Mike Hughes was completely vertical on that play.
Brown penetrated, then kicks out to Hughes. Didn't even hit the rim.
I think the inability to make three-point shots for Georgia Southern is really going to hurt them as we get down the stretch of this game.
Great recognition by Thornton. He saw the mismatch inside, and he went to the big fellow Plumlee, who gets fouled.
Well, those opportunities will be there for Duke. Georgia Southern is switching everything, so it's creating those mismatches, especially with the bigs on the inside. I think you got to be more aware and find Plumlee earlier. Could have had an easy finish there around the rim, but Derek Thornton saw him too late.
Foul on Simmons. That's 1 on him and 9 on the team. And if it seems like there's always a Plumlee at Duke, it's because there is. His 2 older brothers, the twins, are both gainfully employed in the NBA. Miles, a center for the Bucks. Mason, a center for the Blazers.
The students call him MP3. How about one of the coolest nicknames I've heard? Brings tremendous energy, big and strong, hard worker.
Good passer, too.
He really is.
Almost tipped in by Jones, gets caught on the rim, so that's a held ball. And on the possession arrow, it will go over to Georgia Southern.
I think Marshall Plumlee's a little too unselfish at times, especially when he catches the basketball in the painted area. When you catch it in there as a big, your mindset has to be to score the rock.
His best game was against Kentucky. 12 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 blocked shots in the Blue Devils' only loss of the season.
Nice.
Norris. Duke did not defend the ball screen very well there, did they? What'd they do wrong?
Well, I said earlier, the guy who's setting the screen, as they start to push that to the side and ice it, has to make a hard roll to the basket. The reason they've been unsuccessful, Georgia Southern, in the last 3 or 4 possessions off ball screen, because they didn't roll hard. That time, rolled hard down the lane. Sean O'Connell with a nice little finish.
Plumlee missed the layup and tried to fight for the rebound, gets called for a second foul.
Folks, watch the little ball screen set by Sean O'Connell, number 11. See how he rolls to the rim? And when you roll that hard, it puts so much pressure on the weak side and forces them to have to make a decision. Little momentary indecision by Duke there created that wide open lane for O'Connell to finish at the rim. Nicely executed by Georgia Southern.
Approaching the final minute of the half. Blue Devils by 9. The step-back jumper no good, and rebound is pulled down by Matt Jones at the 1-minute mark.
Yeah, Georgia Southern can ill afford those tough shots. Nice move. That's just sick.
Matt Jones changing direction.
Wow. I didn't know he had that in this game.
Here come the Eagles the other way. Allen will come away. 3 on 2 if they hurry. Here's Jones for 3. Rebound knocked around. Jones will get it, and he's stripped as he goes up. Jones has been all over the place in the first half.
Coach K calls Matt Jones the Rock, and he's showing his ability to handle the rock on this play. Wonderful little step over to get to the rim. Many call it a Euro step, but I'm just going to call it a side step, and that was beautifully done. Matt Jones showing an array of moves.
So now Jones to the line. The foul on Alsmiller was his 3rd, so he's the first player on either team to get in foul trouble.
Matt Jones is an absolute sticker from the three-point line. 46% on the year. 1 of 4 in their last game, but he's come out confident and aggressive on the offensive end tonight.
Offensive rebound for Jeter. See if Mike Krzyzewski will use his first half use it or lose it timeout here. Knocked into the backcourt. Shot clock is off. And there it is. There's your timeout with 16 seconds remaining. And what do you suppose Coach K will dial up in the huddle after he gets over his initial anger?
Probably going to run a little high ball screen with whoever the big is in the game. See if he'll make a substitution here. If Plumlee's in the game, it's going to be a high ball screen, and they're going to look to attack the gap. If not, I think they'll try to get something with Grayson Allen getting to the rim, maybe draw someone for a kick. Folks, and you're wondering how Georgia Southern has hung around. Duke, just like last year, early in the season with young guys, have had a difficult time containing dribble penetration, and it's been no different tonight. Georgia Southern has been able to get anything they've wanted off the bounce, not only on ball screens, but just straight driving, lining guys up, and that's an area that Duke's going to have to improve in. A team that's used to getting to Final Fours and winning national championships can't do that when you can't contain the bounce.
Shot clock off. Final possession of the half. Good penetration by Allen results in the Thornton three, and the biggest lead of the night. Georgia Southern has to hurry instead. Hughes just holds the ball on his hip. So whatever Krzyzewski drew up in the huddle worked to perfection.
Yeah, we talked about what they would run coming out of the timeout. They got the basketball in the hands of their best offensive player, Grayson Allen, drawing some guys and kicks it over to Thornton. Derek Thornton drills a three to give Duke a 15-point lead going into half.
Indoor, Duke leads Georgia Southern 47-32. Bob Picozzi along with LaFonso Ellis, the second leading shot blocker in Notre Dame history, and LaFonso, huge first half for Duke junior Matt Jones.
Matt Jones showing us an array on the offensive end, getting to the rim, little spin move underneath and a little shot off the glass. But this is where I know him, his ability to be able to knock down the three ball on the boards as well with 3 boards. He's been the guy that stepped in and filled the void left by Emil Jefferson.
Duke with extremely balanced scoring. Jones leading the way with 12. Allen had most of those 8 points early, and an unusual first half for Luke Kennard. He missed his first 6 shots and made his next 2.
Not able to buy one from the three-point line, but it was his ability to get to the rim and finish, which got him on the scoreboard along with 2 free throws.
And for those of you who did not join us from the very beginning, the Blue Devils tonight playing without Emil Jefferson, their senior forward, who is out indefinitely with an injury to his right foot. He is on the bench with his foot in a cast, cheering on his teammates. And with him out of the lineup, the freshman Ingram has slid over to the 4 spot, at least in name. And Luke Kennard, another freshman, getting the start at the guard spot.
Tell you, a really balanced scoring effort by the Duke Blue Devils in the first half. The issue was their inability to contain the bounce. I'd like to see Georgia Southern come out this second half, continue to set those ball screens, get a hard roll from the screener, and look to attack off the bounce. Looks like they're switching stuff here early.
Devontae Boykins had nowhere to go, and he loses it, and here's Ingram the other way. Oh, my goodness, and the foul.
What defensive effort there. A little steal out in transition, and this is the versatility of Brandon Ingram using the length and flushes that one while getting fouled. The Cameron Crazies are going nuts. I think Emil Kane dribble penetration with this lineup. They're switching 1 through 4, and as I said earlier, they don't leave the strong side, so now try to make a pass. Brandon Ingram used his length getting out in transition, and that's an adjustment that Georgia Southern is going to have to make. They have to realize that Duke is not leaving the strong side and get the ball to the weak side and look to attack. Nice adjustment there by Coach K.
Ingram stepping into the passing lane at one end of the floor and then with a spectacular dunk at the other. Not sure which was the more spectacular play tonight, LaFonso. That incredible change of direction move we saw Matt Jones make in the first half, or the throwdown we just saw from Ingram.
I'll give them both hands tonight. Both spectacular.
Biggest lead of the night. The jumper by Chucky Brown is no good, and rebound pulled down by Plumlee.
Marshall Plumlee did a much better job of guarding the ball screen, and he's the guy, if Georgia Southern is going to try to create some offense in the half court, they got to get Marshall Plumlee involved in the ball screen. It was really successful for him in the first half.
Allen will draw the foul. It will be on Chucky Brown, his second and number 2 on the team. Allen, the sophomore from Jacksonville, on the preseason second team All-ACC team, and a nominee for the Wooden Award. The Blue Devils turned it over.
Georgia Southern's got to look to attack early, and if they don't have it, get into their secondary break options. That's a tough shot
And the putback is good by Ike Smith, a freshman from Gainesville. Georgia Southern with 3 freshmen and 2 sophomores in the starting lineup. Pass nearly stolen. And then a reach-in foul will be called on Devontae Boykins. That will be his second, or his first, and number 3 on the team.
I love good sportsmanship. Devontae Boykins, number 1 in blue, helping the opponent, Brandon Ingram, up off the floor. Don't see that a whole lot in college sports anymore. Kudos to that kid.
Was there more of it when you played for the Irish?
No, I probably would have left him there. Especially if it were Duke. I was 0 for 5 against Duke when I was in college. Christian Laettner just too good.
Well, that's when they really began to go on that remarkable run. 5 straight Final Four appearances. And Ingram buries the 3. The young man from Kinston, North Carolina, really showing his versatile game tonight.
He's been really on a roll. Has spent a lot of time getting some extra shots up and extra workouts in, and it's really starting to pay off.
Smith just tried to draw Ingram off his feet. It didn't work. And here's Kennard coming the other way. Blue Devils now by 20. Jones. And another foul will be called on Brown, his 3rd, and number 4 on the team.
Brandon Ingram has shown us a variety of skills tonight, but I'm more impressed with his ability to move without the rock. Read exactly where the hole was. Luke Kennard, eyes up, able to find him in the corner, and Brandon Ingram showing that smooth stroke to knock down the 3.
13 points and 5 of 8 shooting. Kennard now 0 for 5 from 3-point range. Allen for 3. Rebound pulled down by Ingram. Takes it right to the rim, and he will draw the foul from Ike Smith. That's his 3rd, and already 5 team fouls this half in the first 2:51 for Georgia Southern.
When we talked to Mark Byington, Georgia Southern's coach, another thing he was concerned about is could they rebound the basketball to ignite their transition game, Georgia Southern. Early in this second half, they've allowed too many second chance opportunities for Duke, and that's how they've gotten in this big hole.
Duke plus 13 off the boards tonight. In chatting yesterday with Jeff Capel, Mike Krzyzewski's associate head coach, he said of Ingram, he's made great strides, but he's still adjusting to the speed and the physicality of the game.
Yeah, then when you play against the caliber teams that they've played against early on, you can certainly understand that. But I think he's found his groove now, and they're able to move him from 3 to 4. He's able to go inside, play outside, and he's really playing now offensively to the strength of his game, which is his versatility.
Duke has played Georgetown, Kentucky, Indiana in the early going. Big game with Utah on Saturday at Madison Square Garden.
Absolutely blew the doors off against Indiana.
Grayson Allen took it right to the rim with the left, and the wheels are kind of falling off for Georgia Southern here. This will be an offensive foul called on Mike Hughes. That's his 2nd.
Yeah, that's a frustration foul right there. Grayson Allen showing his ability to get it done on both ends of the floor offensively. Loves to drive to his right, that time showing his ability to go to his left and finish with the same. And then he sprints back down the floor and makes something happen on the defensive end as well. I'll tell you, I really appreciate the level at which number 3 in white is playing at on both ends of the floor.
Well, Jeff Capel told us yesterday that, you know, the country really got a chance to see Grayson Allen in what he did in the championship game, 16 points off the bench. He said, our coaching staff, we weren't surprised by that at all because we had seen that coming, and it's just an adjustment this year because he's the first guy in the other team's scouting report. That wasn't the case a year ago.
Well, I thought our own Jay Williams in studio made a great point before the Kentucky game, the Duke-Kentucky game, is he wanted to see how Grayson Allen would then produce or not against some long athletic guys. Didn't play particularly well, but he didn't sulk. He just went back to work, and he's been spectacular since the Kentucky game.
Backcourt violation on the Blue Devils. Boykins took it right at the 7-footer Plumlee.
Well, and that's what's happened early in the second half. Georgia Southern has completely gotten away from what kept it close in the first half. It's been dribble penetration, attacking the paint, looking to score, and when Duke comes over, kick the ball to the weak side, and they were able to get open looks. They need to get back to it to close this gap.
Allen misses the 3, but the rebound keeps the possession alive by Ingram. Allen with the drive. And on the rebound inside, we'll get a rebound foul, and it will be called on Georgia Southern. So it will stay at this end when we come back.
This is a trend that'll continue for the Blue Devils.
Breakdown of the point production from freshmen in those 5 national championship years. Last year, Jahlil Okafor, 3rd pick in the NBA draft in June. Justice Winslow went 10th. Tyus Jones went 24th. Speaking of John Calipari, his number symbolically is going to be raised to the rafters at the Mullins Center at the University of Massachusetts tomorrow.
Wow, how about that? Well deserved.
Nice attack by DaVinci Boykins, who played 3 years at Marshall and is using his final year of eligibility as a graduate student now at Georgia Southern, playing with his younger brother Devontae.
Going to need both of those guys to be productive here to get back in this game.
Allen is down and has yet to get up. Looks like he got hit somewhere in the head area. Still on the floor at the other end of the floor, and the rebound will come down to Ingram. And now the whistle blows as they tend to Grayson Allen as he drove. He was knocked a little bit woozy. Let's see if we can figure out what happened.
I thought as he was driving to his right down the lane, took a little extra step there, and I thought he ran into, he ran right into the shoulder of Sean O'Connell.
But it looked to me like he began wincing before the contact with O'Connell.
I was trying to see if he actually got brushed across the nose. So sometimes you can kind of get hit in the nose and your eyes get watery and you can't really see. But he has got a little cut there on the right side of his nose.
Yeah, it looks like he's having trouble keeping that left eye open. A delayed call on the kick. Side out for the Blue Devils. So there is a cut on the just to the right side of his nose. Good to see that left eye open.
Yes.
Jones penetrates, kicks out Kennard. Still can't get a 3 at the ball.
I'll tell you what, Duke is getting some really good looks for Luke Kennard, but to your point, he just cannot make one. I thought once he made those couple layups, I thought that would get him going, but it has not tonight.
He's 0 for 6 from 3-point range. Rebound pulled down by Thornton. Here's a 3-on-2 if they hurry. He has Jones on the left for the 3 ball. On the rebound, Ingram baseline and just fired it off the foot of Alsmiller and out of bounds. Heads up play by the freshman who has 12 rebounds as they continue to tend to Grayson Allen. And now it looks like he's having trouble with both eyes as they are watering profusely.
Yeah, it looks like he's got a little cut even above his right eyelash, and so must have gotten raked across the face.
Plumlee one-on-one, and we'll get a foul from behind. Will be called on Alsmiller.
So let's see if he gets slapped across the face here. He has that little reach in there from the corner.
wing, yeah.
Yep.
So it wasn't the collision with O'Connell.
Yeah, those hurt, folks. It takes you a little while before your eyes can settle down. Otherwise, you kind of blur for a little bit. Very uncomfortable.
Last foul was on O'Connell. That will be 3 on him, and already 7. So already Duke is in the bonus. They will be spending the rest of the game at the free throw line, where they are 11 of 19 tonight. They started out 9 of 10.
Yeah, and as a result, Duke should put their heads down and drive the basketball every time. Because when the team is in the bonus that way, they can relax a little bit defensively because they have to be cautious, and it opens up dribble drive opportunities. I'd like to see Duke attack here.
Plumlee will get a rest. And we will see Chase Jeter, who has struggled early in his freshman year. Highly regarded freshman out of Las Vegas. The putback by Alsmiller is no good, but he will get fouled. Foul will be on Kennard.
I thought that was a really nice read by Sean O'Connell. When you're playing against a team that attacks the drive as hard as a Duke team does, on the weak side of the rim, there's some opportunities there to get to the glass. Sean O'Connell doing a really nice job of finding the space.
And that was the first free throw of the night for Georgia Southern. Bowl season is upon us. We kick it off Saturday on ABC and ESPN. At noon Eastern, it's the Air Force Reserve Celebration Bowl. Then at 2, the Gildan, New Mexico Bowl. At 3:30, it's the Holy War, BYU and Utah in the Royal Purple Las Vegas Bowl. It's the most wonderful time of the year, and it begins on Saturday. BYU 6th in the country in sacks. Utah 6th in forced turnovers. That will be a war.
That place will be packed. BYU fans really travel well.
The jumper by Brown is no good, and the rebound winds up in Jones's lap. Up the side it comes to Ingram, and the finish.
He is so smooth.
Only missed 3 of his shots tonight. He has the first double-double of his career. There will be many more. Is he a one-and-done guy?
I think so, without a doubt. And I think he'll be a lottery pick because of his length, his versatility. At that level, he can probably guard 2 and 3.
Shot clock down to 3, and a bailout foul committed by Thornton with just 2 seconds left on the shot clock.
But he projects as a 3. His ability to shoot the long range, can handle it, and that's good news here for Duke with Grayson Allen sitting poised to come back into this game.
So back to the line goes Georgia Southern. It took them nearly 28 minutes to get there, and now they've gone there on 2 successive trips.
Tukey Brown at the line, typically an 83% free throw shooter, signed with Mississippi State but decommitted when Rick Ray was fired. And Georgia Southern is excited to have him.
Scored 3,000 points at Morgan County High School, where he was Georgia Mr. Basketball. So they get to the line and they proceed to miss their first 4 free throws, Fonz.
Well, that won't help close the deficit. They need every basket that they can get here.
They are the 6th best free throw shooting team in the Sun Belt Conference. And the bumping foul will be called on DeVinci Boykins. That's his first, and it'll be 8 on the team, and back to the line will go Duke for the 1-and-1.
Well,
so is this, LaFonso, I'm sorry to interrupt, is this Duke team, in your mind, good enough to be one of the, say, 8 or 9 teams in the country, good enough to win it all?
I'd say one of the 15 or so. I'm still waiting to see how they continue. Because, again, my only issue with Duke so far early in this season is their inability to contain the dribble drive. And as you start to play against those elite teams, you think of Michigan State, for example, who have so many guys, including Denzel Valentine, who can beat you off the bounce. I just get concerned about their ability to contain as their defense gets better because their guys are young. Early on, when you have a bunch of young guys don't understand how to defend. You have to learn those principles on the fly. I think as we get to the middle part of the season, those guys will be better. Final 4, not sure, especially without Emil Jefferson. That's a big blow.
Lane violation, but after the missed free throw, Duke with the offensive rebound. And then Thornton penetrates and leaves for Allen for the 3. That was a long trip up the floor for the Blue Devils. 13 points for Allen. Now, tomorrow night, you and I are going to see North Carolina and Tulane. Is Carolina one of those select few that's good enough to win it all in your view?
With Marcus Paige back, they have the depth across the front line. They now are getting consistent play and able to knock down perimeter shots, and that's going to help them.
It will be Carolina and Tulane tomorrow night. First game for Carolina since losing their post player, Kennedy Meeks. Timeout. Cameron and Dorfaz.
Where'd the white beard go?
It's been all Blue Devils as they look to extend a remarkable streak. They've won 122 straight home games against non-conference opponents, the longest such streak in the country. It goes back 15 years to a loss to St. John's in 2000. The runner by DaVinci Boykins is no good, and on the rebound, last touch by Chase Jeter, and a fresh 30 on the shot clock for Georgia Southern. There's the streak. What do you think that streak means? You think everybody in a Duke uniform says, well, I don't want it in on my watch?
That's exactly right. And even with the teams coming in, you're a little bit demoralized knowing that they've 122 straight non-conference wins on their own floor. So you know you're up for a challenge coming in. And that's something that we know that Georgia Southern was aware of. Mark Byington, their head coach, talked about that in our conversation yesterday.
Duke has also won its last 20 games against unranked opponents.
Duke now in that 2-3 zone, something that they implemented last year. They've shown a little 1-3-1 zone this year as well. So Coach K is aware of the fact that they have a tough time containing dribble drive, and it's something that he has in his pocket that he can use and go to try to slow teams down from getting into the paint.
But isn't it tougher to rebound out of this zone? Out of the man-to-man?
It can be, but if you know, I mean, if you're not going to a steady diet of it, that was a really nice drive, by the way. And Tiki Brown has put himself together a really good game. But again, having worked with Jim Boeheim, USA Basketball all these years, he knows how to make the adjustments to it if teams start to beat them up on the backboard. Because most often, that's going to be Marshall Plumlee in there cleaning up the glass anyway. So I don't think Coach K's worried about people beating them up on the backboard.
Georgia Southern in his zone as well. Ike Smith with his 4th foul. And it's the 10th team foul, so we have 10:40 left, and every time Duke goes to the line, they'll be shooting too. Of course, you referenced Jim Boeheim. He has worked with Mike Krzyzewski on the U.S. national team, and Coach K will be coaching the Olympics for a 3rd time, and he says it's the last time. Of course, he said that the last time.
Yeah, I was going to say.
This is the 2nd last time, but he said, I really mean it this time. And how about his boss at USA Basketball, Jerry Colangelo, all of a sudden taking a job with the 76ers?
How about that?
Did anyone see that coming?
I don't think anyone saw it coming, but they could use some help. They need some veteran leadership on that team quickly.
Yes, the folks in Philadelphia hope that pro basketball will return to their city someday soon.
Wow.
Blue Devils still in the 2-3 zone.
Nice.
Nicely carved up by Georgia Southern.
Yeah, the areas to attack, always that free throw line area, short corner. And you want to try to touch the corner as often as you can to force that defense to shift. And if you can reverse the basketball, you can attack from the weak side.
Mike Hughes with the shot, and at the other end, Matt Jones answers. There's a look at Emil Jefferson. We don't know how or when he broke his foot. Duke's been off for 9 days since beating Buffalo. Yesterday was their 3rd day back for practice. It was a break for final exams, and as Jeff Capel explained to us, most of the work done during that break was individual work, conditioning, weightlifting, and they've only been back to practice 3 days, and then all of a sudden the release came out, and these are Jefferson's numbers. Much better this year with the increased playing time. And all of a sudden, really out of nowhere, came the statement late in the afternoon yesterday that Emil Jefferson is out indefinitely with an injury to his right foot.
And that's a huge blow from a leadership standpoint, from a production standpoint, a guy whose voice is really respected by the younger players, and I think a guy that would be really helpful in Chase Jeter's development. So they're really going to miss his presence out there on the floor. And you're talking about an excellent offensive rebounder at 5 offensive rebounds a game, one of the best offensive rebounders in the country.
And a golden opportunity that Jeter figures to have more playing time now. Let's see if he can take advantage of it. He hasn't really done much with it tonight. Inside, Plumlee misses the layup. Elected for the layup instead of the throwdown.
Marshall's got to dunk that basketball around the rim.
How many layups did you pass up? How many throwdowns did you pass up for a layup in your playing career?
Well, I couldn't lay up. I didn't know how to lay it up, so I had to dunk it. It was going to be an automatic miss. And Bob, I wanted to just clarify something that I said earlier with Duke. What I was getting at is Duke a top 7 team right now? I'd say no. Are they one of the top maybe 15, 16 teams that has a chance to win the national championship? There's no question about it. My concern with this team is how long will Emile Jefferson be out? And then secondly, their ability to contain the dribble drive against superior teams. Those are my 2 areas of concern. Jefferson comes back, they're in the mix, and if they get better, and I think they will, containing the dribble drive, they'll be right there with the top teams in the country.
With the shot clock at 2, DaVinci Boykins drills the deep 3.
Boy, and Georgia Southern has needed a lot more production from the three-point line tonight.
Duke went on a late first half run to open up a 15-point lead. Now it's up to 24 off the miss. Allen chases down the rebound. Plumlee got tied up underneath the basket with Tukey Brown after the missed shot. And it will stay at this end of the floor. We'll get another foul on Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern last year, only its second year in the Sun Belt. And LaFonso, they went all the way to the Sun Belt Tournament Championship game, losing to Georgia State. But this is a team that has not been to the NCAA tournament since 1992.
Yeah, they're in transition mode right now. Must replace 3 1,000-point scorers. Lost 76% of their scoring from last year and 72% of their rebounding. It's a team that heavily depends on their guards for production. And if their guards aren't knocking down 3 balls and getting opportunities in transition, they really struggle on the offensive end. And Duke has completely taken them out of their stuff by switching here in the second half, 1 through 4, and going to that 2-3 zone.
Well, now they're just getting out hustled and just fouling. Ingram with a great hustle on the rebound. Tonight, be sure to tune into Sports Center at Night. Nicole Briscoe and John Butchergrimes will lead things off with complete coverage of all of the action from across the various leagues. It's Sports Center at Night. It begins at 11 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN and streaming live on Watch ESPN. Getting late, very late in the NFL season. Last night completing week number 14. Everybody's got 3 games left. Somebody has to win the NFC East. There's a rule which says that.
How good did the Giants look last night?
Well, they look good late, and they are in a 3-way tie for first despite a 6-7 record. And the Panthers, 13-0, will come to the Meadowlands to play the Giants next week. Wow. Deep 3 by Tukey Brown.
Hey, Bob, there's a little time left in this game, but Georgia Southern is going to have to get some stops and stop allowing Duke to get so many offensive rebound opportunities. And if you can't defend the drive, you're in deep trouble.
Derek Thornton hits the shot. Now, with Jefferson out, it resulted in Ingram sliding from the 3 to the 4 and a starting opportunity tonight for Luke Kennard. But Derek Thornton might get an opportunity to regain the starting spot that he had at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, and that's kind of the versatility that Coach K has at his disposal. You know, Derek Thornton hadn't really played a whole lot tonight. And you talk about a night where they haven't really shot the ball well in Kennard from the perimeter, but this Duke team is really stretching the lead right now.
Timeout.
Every auto insurance policy has a number.
26 minutes from now. Monmouth is where it's at.
Thanks, Robbie. It's been a heck of a year for the Hawks. They beat UCLA in overtime. They beat Notre Dame. Sorry, Fox.
Hey, be careful.
They're beating Georgetown by 12. Lost a 3-point game to Dayton. Did anyone see that coming?
I certainly didn't. But they are a fun team to watch. Can really beat you off the bounce. They guard. And again, I think they have the best bench going in college sports.
They got Rutgers next. Look out, Scarlet Knights. Coming up right after we are done, it will be VCU and Georgia Tech. Yellow Jackets have 4 players averaging in double figures. VCU under first-year coach Will Wade, who took over when Shaka Smart went to Texas, and he had a heck of a win Saturday over North Carolina.
Yeah. Tell you, I wasn't sure how the pieces that Texas had returning this year would fit in a Shaka Smart system. But Shaka,
yeah.
Shaka did exactly what I thought he would do, is examine the pieces that he had. Wow, what a move by Brandon Ingram.
He's the real deal, isn't he?
Oh, he is. Examine the pieces that he had and come up with the formula to help them be successful. Cam Ridley, I thought, was terrific, in great shape. They have great guards in Isaiah Taylor. Conor Lambert can knock down threes. I really like that Texas team.
And the three from the perimeter is good for Georgia Southern. They had to win over North Carolina. You and I chatted with Roy Williams today, and Roy said, hey, it's not like we laid an egg. You know, we lost the game at the buzzer. We got to lace them up and get ready to play Tulane.
Yeah. On the road against a team that was playing very, very well. But you talk about a team that now has Marcus Page back. They're going to be without their big man and Kennedy Meeks, and you know who's going to be the next guy up. What's helping them is Justin Jackson is playing really well, something that they needed last year. Another guy who can knock down shots from the perimeter, and he's doing a nice job on the offensive glass as well.
Duke by 27, 5.5 left. Here's Thornton for three. Thornton, that rarity lately, a Duke freshman who is not a McDonald's All-American. They have 7 McDonald's All-American on this team, LaFonso, more than any other team in the country.
Derek Thornton is just a gamer. Doesn't practice really well, but when the lights come on, Derek Thornton is ready to play, and he's made some big baskets for Duke tonight.
Jones, cross-court saving it is Allen. Now, do you think there's any chance before the end of the season we will see Thornton start at the point, Allen slide over to the 2?
I think it's just going to depend on matchups. You know, Coach K, because of his relationship with the Olympics, thus the NBA, has that NBA mindset. And so if the matchup calls for it, then I think you'll definitely see him. Tonight, Kennard was a little bit better. Hasn't been able to make his shots, but he's trying to figure out a way how to get Luke Kennard going. And as they get down the stretch, there's a nice layup, by the way. As they get down the stretch and start playing against the elite teams, they're going to need Luke Kennard to make some shots.
Ingram again. And he'll go to the line to shoot a couple more. He's got 19 points and 14 rebounds. Well, let me rephrase the question. Do you think Grayson Allen's skill set is a better fit for the 2 or for the point?
Definitely for the 2. Definitely for the 2. And I think at some point that's where you want to get to, but you want to make sure that when that happens, that Derek Thornton is ready on both ends of the floor. But right now, early in the season, you can kind of play that game right now because Grayson has a good enough handle to be able to handle against teams who don't full court pressure you.
Ingram at the line. Was named the ACC Rookie of the Week a week ago. So it's his first double-double, career high with 23 points.
I think a lot of people, because of his relationship with Jerry Stackhouse, the former North Carolina standout, thought that North Carolina was going to get him. But because of that academic cloud hanging over North Carolina, decided to come here to Duke, and the Blue Devil faithful are happy to have him.
Tukey Brown with a deep 3, and then Mark Byington will get a quick timeout with it 85-56 Duke. So we're going to step aside. Duke well on its way to win number 9.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball.
At State Farm.
It's Duke 85, Georgia Southern 56. Thanks for joining us. Holiday Hoops presented by Kay Jewelers. The Blue Devils about to make it 7 straight wins. And take it away. They will not count it. The charge on Ingram. New rule this year with player control fouls.
Wow. Look where he took off from. That's ridiculous.
Did you like the call?
I'm trying to see if his feet were outside of the restricted arc.
They're reversing the call. They're calling it a block and count the basket.
Oh, wow. Yeah, didn't quite get the angle on that one to see where the defender's feet were. Because if you're in, above, or on that line, then it's a block. So let's take a quick look here. Watch the feet of the defender The secondary defender that came over, he is definitely inside. That is a block, and that's a three-point play. Good call good correction by the official. Look at him take off. Brandon Ingram using his length. My goodness. Kid has a 7'5" wingspan, Bob. No longer than yours?
Just a little. SportsCenter top 10 nominee?
I think it'll definitely get on tonight.
Wow. The Blue Devils bench liked it. Watch that foot there, Emil. Remember, you got that cast on.
Emil's looking at it going, is it a block? Is it a charge? What is it?
So Ingram now with 26 points. It's a career high. The 14 rebounds, also a career high. His previous career high was only 6 boards.
It's really nice execution against the zone. We talked about against the zone, you got to get it into that middle area. Georgia Southern did a nice job there of touching the middle, causing that zone to contract and kicking it to the weak side for their open three.
Shot clock inside 10 for Allen. Pull up 3.
He's tough to guard.
They blew the whistle because they want to check to make sure that it was a 3, that the foot was not on the line.
Yeah, new rule allowing them to be able to take a look at that during play to make sure that's 3. Let's see on the rhythm dribble. Oh, that's too close to call. If I had to go, oh, wow, that's close.
Looks like a 2 to me.
Because he turned his right foot just slightly to the right.
So it will go as a 2. They did change it.
Nice.
Great penetration to behind the back dribble by Hughes.
Last 2 possessions, Georgia Southern able to throw it into that middle area off the pass, this time down off the bounce. And if you can get into that soft area, you can get some nice looks at the basket. Beautiful execution by Georgia Southern.
Sean Obi on the floor for the first time tonight for Duke. And Obi with the offensive rebound. Spent his freshman year at Rice, young man from Nigeria. And there may be an opportunity for some increased playing time for him with the Jefferson injury also.
Yeah, as you can tell on that leap right there, he struggles a little bit with his knees. He's had some cranky knee issues, but if they can find a way to get him going, especially with Emil Jefferson out, any bonus minutes they can get from those guys in the deeper part of that bench, the better for the Blue Devils.
Tukey Brown misses the 3. Rebound pulled down by Ike Smith. The no-look pass from Boykins. And unfortunately, O'Connell wasn't looking either. And we'll get a held ball. And on the possession hour, no, we're going to get a foul. Not a held ball. Saturday, it's Holiday Hoops presented by Kay Jewelers at Madison Square Garden. And we will see these same Duke Blue Devils take on Utah and their highly regarded 7-footer Jakob Poeltl. It's a journey to the tourney game, and it's presented by Sonic.
Small forward Jordan Loveridge of Utah is going to have a spectacular game for the Utes to beat this Duke Blue Devil team.
That'll be a battle of Coach K's in that one.
That's right.
Larry Krystowiak's done a great job with the Utah program, and no one's done a better job than Mike Krzyzewski has done in his 36 years here in Durham. Final 2 minutes. Kennard low block Jeter. Fakes one way and goes the other.
It's a really good sign. Nice patience in the block for the freshman.
You think you could, with all the pressure in the world on the line, you could properly spell both Coach K's names?
No.
That seemed like a pretty definitive answer. Deep 3 by Kennard. Finally gets a 3 to go. He had missed 6, and he cannot suppress the grin. He'll be hearing about that from his teammates.
Yes, he will. Tell you, these are valuable minutes for number 12 in white, Derek Thornton, folks. He's actually supposed to be a senior in high school, reclassified because of the vacancy at the point guard spot. Coach K needed him to get here right away.
Reminder right after we're done, VCU and Georgia Tech here on ESPN2. Final minute. So Duke will extend its latest home court winning streak to 14. It'll also be a 21st consecutive win against an unranked opponent and a 123rd straight win against a non-conference opponent at home. Kennard with the putback. So what were your impressions of the Blue Devils tonight coming off the 9-day break?
Well, early on, they were susceptible to the dribble drive, and Coach K at halftime made an adjustment to switch 1 through 4 and to stay home on the strong side, and that completely took Georgia Southern out of their dribble drive attack game. And I like what I've seen from the Blue Devils. Balanced scoring. Guys like Matt Jones stepping up, a veteran as a junior, not only guarding but scoring in a variety of ways. Balanced effort offensively here from Duke. Impressive.
So Duke wins it by 34. The Blue Devils go to 10-1, and they will meet Utah Saturday at noon on ESPN on MSG. Georgia Southern slips to 3-5, and next up for them will be Winthrop. So for LaFonso Ellis, I'm Bob Picozzi. We say so long, and now let's go to Carl Ravage and Jay Williams in the studio.
All right, Bobby, thank you very much. We got a game coming up about 12 minutes from now. Charlie Mitchell's got a double-double in every game this season. Went for 14 and 14 December 5th against